Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, the curtain falls on the regular season, and we've got a good one in store between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25.
In your face.
Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
So much for coming out throwing as it leads to an early second down and long. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. That's going to set them back 5 yards. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long.
Let's make these babies cry.
From the gun, here's Cousins. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Third and long for Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
So on fourth down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Weil, to kick it away. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And this will be taken at the 13. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bears take over. So here come the Bears under second-year coach Matt Nagy. They'll be commanded by the veteran QB, the former Walter Payton Man of the Year in the league, Eli Manning.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that 1 interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with the receiver?
And let's take a look at the Bears offense.
We often overuse the term heart and soul when we talk about a player being just that for his team, but not in the case of Kyle Long in Chicago. He's shown his ability to be a Pro Bowl guard, a Pro Bowl tackle, but it's his passion for the game, his passion for his teammates that sets the tone for the entire team.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Defensively, let's go ahead and meet the starting 11 for Minnesota. And they're a unit that struggled some against the run, no doubt, coming in 25th out of 32 teams.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
Go now. 10 logo. Hey, pick your game up.
Manning now on first down. Completes it to the tight end, Burton. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 25 yards that time.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They run. Montgomery. Tackle made by Everson Griffin. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Play action. Manning. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. But now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels. So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Now for the field goal try, here's Eddie Pinheiro. This from 44 yards out, left hash. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. No touchdown there, but if that first drive is any indication, looks like they're going to have a pretty good day passing the football.
I would say confidence would have to be pretty high after that first drive, able to throw it almost at will. You're exactly right. They didn't get the touchdown, but 3 points serves as a nice notice about how this offense is going to move.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great
pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Khalil Mack in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
Well, that was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
You got it! You got it!
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Own side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Here's Matt Wild now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. We do know that they are postseason bound, but they're leaking a little oil, so to speak, as they kind of limp into January.
Yeah, and that oil can set fire to their season, can't it?
Look at that.
See what I did there? So here's the thing that we've both seen in the NFL. Teams down the stretch playing really well. Sometimes it doesn't carry over into the playoffs. Sometimes teams that aren't playing well now, if they have good leadership at the head coaching spot and the coaching staff and within the locker room, they can find a way to turn it around. But no one wants to be on a losing streak as they head into the playoffs.
Down. 18 Gator. 55. Double dog. That's the way. They go.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And 2 stop. 54.
On 2nd down now, it's Montgomery, and he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
It's a first down on a gain of 10. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Manning. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Oh, it springs free. Montgomery loses it. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
And running back Dalvin Cook was drafted in 2017 to be the lead runner for the Vikings, and he should love what they're putting in for him in 2019. This is a run-first, run-heavy offense as dictated by their head coach. Dalvin Cook should get more than
pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Aaron Lynch able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. They go play action. Cousins. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. A little bit of space there for the first down run as that's going to get him about 5 yards. On the tackle that time, it's Trey Waynes. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. From the gun, it's Manning. Throw left side complete. That's Montgomery. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. Throwing is Manning. And Robinson with a big catch. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Manning now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. Montgomery on the counter. And he loses the football a second time.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Set, ready? 60 Pittsburgh. Ain't no such thing as a loss. We take a win call.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2 as they're looking at a 2nd down and 9 to go.
Ready, ready. Check line 54. Line 54. Watch the run, watch the run. Sleep.
Montgomery.
Check, line 54.
And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. He shows you right there, he can do more than just cover in the secondary from that free safety position.
Yeah, the evolution of the position has really been significant, hasn't it? Because a lot of teams no longer have a free safety, strong safety designation. They just have safeties. So wherever the ball is, one can be close to the line of scrimmage, one can be deep, and vice versa. On that play, how about that tackle we just saw? Pretty nice.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's Kirk Cousins now, the centerpiece of our player spotlight. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. To throw, Cousins. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's over, but he is really tracking towards it. Just look at all the great plays we've seen from him throughout the season. Strength plays that you referenced there, as well as agility plays.
Yeah.
They just have not found a way to block him consistently.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And complete right side to Cook. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Elsewhere on the NFL scoreboard in Dallas. And the Redskins there out to an early lead. Alex Smith with one touchdown pass thus far. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Following the penalty, Montgomery. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Manning, he's got Burton here. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 25-yard line.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Ready, set. 54, right there. 54, Mike. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. Hey, watch that, Mike. Let's go.
On 1st down, Manning. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 11 more on that one and another 1st down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Into the red zone now, Manning. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They'll run forward with Montgomery. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time.
Big stop, G. Big stop. Let's go.
On the carry, it's Montgomery. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here, not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Manning now on 3rd and goal. This will be caught at about the 5. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Pinheiro is good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. 13 games going on here in this final Sunday of 2019, the final Sunday of the regular season. 3 more games still to come following us. Raiders, Broncos, Cards, Rams, and Niners, Seahawks. And then we'll know the 12 teams who will continue on into the playoffs starting next Saturday here on EA Sports. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the
Cook stripped. The ball's out. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now Allen Robinson and company gearing up to go again on offense. They've got the lead. They haven't really had to utilize him all that much so far, but I guess if you're winning on the scoreboard, not too much to complain about.
Not at all, but you know those guys out wide. They want as many catches as they can possibly get. They may need him later on if things get a little tighter.
Yeah, so far 2 catches. We'll see what happens here as the game progresses. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive with a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. Cousins the thrower. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Now Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Cousins. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. Here's Matt Weil now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Back out onto the field comes Allen Robinson. He's been pretty quiet here in the second quarter. They've got the lead. That's the good news. But you think they get him more involved going forward?
I think that they do, and that's what they always want to do because he's such a priority and he's such a big-time playmaker. But sometimes defenses take that away, and they've been able to find another way to get it done themselves.
Yeah, they absolutely have. They're winning. And look at the scoreboard right now. The first play of the drive there is incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Manning, and this one's incomplete. Trey Burton, the one he was looking for. 3rd down here. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Thought they were going to force a 4th down. Instead, P.I. gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
To throw is Manning. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Manning again. On the right side, this is Miller. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Again, they'll throw with Manning. Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7. 2 minutes remaining in this 1st half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
The Vikings on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. On 1st and 10, Cousins under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Khalil Mack, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really, really turning in an incredible performance.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Here's Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Cousins now. Got a man. That's Rashard Higgins. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the 1st half. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. And this a 39-yard attempt. Bailey's kick is good, and they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? Wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the 2nd half.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Manning going to throw, and he whips that one incomplete there. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit. And it's the Packers who have the lead as that game approaches halftime. Aaron Jones has a touchdown on the ground. From Motown, let's head across Lake Erie to Buffalo. See what's going on with the Bills. And they have the lead over the visiting New York Jets. Zay Jones, a touchdown reception. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And they've got the lead in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. The Bucs trying to hold on and claim victory. In our game, it's been the play of Eli Manning that's been the story so far. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. To throw again on 2nd down. Manning. And he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. Charles, he lost a fumble last week as well. So now back-to-back weeks, maybe you expect that from your tailback, but not him.
You're exactly right because you work a lot with your running backs about how they have to protect the ball in traffic. But downfield, in open space, that's dangerous as well because you may make someone miss, and their flailing hand can knock the ball away if you don't tuck it away.
It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Now they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Throwing again on 2nd down. Cousins. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Give them 14 on that one and a first down. They'll run with Cook. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Throwing is Cousins. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bears sack. Akeem Hicks make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. To throw is Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And barely able to knock it through. And that will tie things up at 6-6. So they come away from this opening drive in the third quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job 1, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the second half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10.
On the double. Mike 54.
Throwing on 1st down is Manning. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Montgomery. 16 yards right off the bat with a 1st down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A give to Montgomery out of the gun. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They fake the handoff. Now Manning. And he finds Montgomery complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Credit the tackle there to Aaron Lynch. From the 35 on 2nd down, Cousins. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Throwing, Cousins. He's got Higgins over the middle. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Cousins now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. To throw, Cousins. He'll find Thielen work in the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. They go play action here on first down. And complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13. They'll throw again. Cousins. And complete, right side to Cook. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. To the air again, it's Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and we will remain tied here in this 3rd quarter. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And let's pin the mirrors back.
On first down, Manning, middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11. They'll run on first down. Montgomery, and only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30. From the 30 on second down, Manning, and he coughed it up, and the Vikings pick up the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now 3 drives, 3 fumbles.
What's amazing about it is when we go around and watch practices, how many times do we see them put that sleeve over a football now to make it more slippery and hard to handle? It's almost like they're playing with that sleeve on the ball right now. Was that 3 drives?
Yep.
3 fumbles?
3 fumbles.
It's time to change our luck some way, somehow. Focus, concentration, you'll hear those words on the bench in a big way right now.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Cousins now after the fumble recovery. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it's a 2nd down. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Cousins the thrower. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And in Week 17, let's hope this won't affect him for the playoffs. We'll step aside. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Here we go, D. All day. Defense, all day. All day.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Rashard Higgins was the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Cousins. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
There was the pressure you were talking about, force the incompletion.
And it doesn't always have to end in a sack, does it? Sometimes you can make a good play by forcing the incompletion with the pressure.
Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So because of the yards after the catch, they'll wisely decline the PI.
Yeah, since it was pass interference, they would have gotten the yardage at the spot of the foul. But as you correctly noted, a little bit of run after catch for them. That extra yardage made it easy to decline the penalty.
Eddie Jackson with a tackle. Play fake. Cousins. There goes a deep ball. End zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. This from 54 yards away. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. And now look at him go. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Bears. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return, where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points and take the pressure off of those guys.
And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
From the 41, Cousins throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, but now it's 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Here's Matt Weil now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. Here's Matt Weil now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early buys and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. From the gun on 3rd down, Manning. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Akeem Hicks in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Well, it was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Here's Matt Weil now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Throw left side complete. That's Montgomery. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll make it a 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Go set. 60 outlaw. 54. I got it. Alert 3. Ready.
Now Montgomery, he's got it on the draw. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Robinson's got it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Into the red zone now. Manning. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Cohen. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but this...
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery, his 5th touchdown now on the year as the Bears push further out in front. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25. A couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
And he's able to find Diggs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just one 4th quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. Now Cousins. And Cook has it, left side. Cook stripped, the ball's out. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Again, it's Cousins. Throw left side complete. That's Cook. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. The last catch took him 2 yards in the wrong direction, so now what can they do on third? Cousins now, and this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he gets this to the 48, but no further. Well short of the line to gain. Did they maybe play that too safely on third down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have fourth down to try and pick it up.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Throwing is Cousins, and he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10, and he's up to 7 for 7 now on this drive alone. Cousins, and he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And this is certainly not what you want to see in the final week of the year. We'll be back. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
You better bring. Kill.
They'll throw again. Cousins looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Now there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
On 2nd and 11 now. Manning, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right?
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Khalil Mack in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
This pass complete to Higgins. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. On third down, Cousins. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
It's just not right.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Cousins. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. Felt compelled to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a fourth down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Cousins now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. A first run for the backup, Abdullah. And he's taken down inside the 30. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. On the run, Abdullah. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 12 more yards there and another first down. Throwing, Cousins. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Khalil Mack in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. This will be caught at about the 5.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts. So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Mike 54. Mike 54. Here we go, G. Here I come. Here I come.
On first down, it's Montgomery. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Montgomery. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The Bears on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 8. Throwing now is Manning. And he fires one, but incomplete. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
All day, Betsy, let's go. Let's go.
Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. And this defense, they came prepared. He's probably going to be seeing them in his sleep if they don't fix things quickly.
And that's not exactly what he wants to see in his post-game slumber. So they've got to figure out a way to slow things down a little bit. Some screen passes, some draws, anything to make the defensive front hesitate a little bit. Think on their way back to the quarterback, maybe even a quarterback draw, some type of tendency breaker to change things up.
Exactly. Whatever the case, something to mix it up here. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. To throw is Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. Cousins now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
No, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for Chicago, it's an 11th win of the year as they'll finish the regular season at 11-5. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, this loss will mean they finish the season right at 500 at 8-8. But they've got better days in their future. Of that, you can be sure. So for our entire